One of the things I want to talk about is how many of you love math? How many of you hate math? Well, I want to talk about the odds for a minute. Okay, my first question is, what are the odds? Okay, here we have a total solar eclipse on August 21st in Europe, 103 years ago, which took place in 1914 at World War I at the new moon of Elul. So it's like, yeah, there's total solar eclipses, but what are the odds you'll have one on the new moon of Elul? And did you know the last total solar eclipse across the United States was also 100 years ago, 1918 in World War I? So that tells you the odds of having a total solar eclipse across the United States is at least 1 in 100. You following me? Do you understand that? And having one on the 1st of Elul, also August 21st, the odds was 103 years ago. Okay, so the odds of having a total solar eclipse across the whole United States that people are going to see, 1 in 100. Okay, now how about hurricanes? It is said that no major hurricane has made landfall in the United States in more than 9 years. Okay, September 13th, 2008, there was Hurricane Ike. It made landfall at Galveston, Texas, but it was only a Category 2 hurricane. So now, what are the odds of having a Category 4 hurricane? Well, the last Category 4 storm to hit the United States was Charlie in 2004 that hit Florida. But the last Category 4 hurricane to hit Texas was 56 years ago in 1961. So we're looking at, what are the odds that a Category 4 hurricane would hit Texas? Well, 56 years ago was the last one. Now, what are the odds of having both events occurring in the same week, where you have a total, not a partial, a total solar eclipse crossing the entire United States at the beginning of Elul, and a Category 4 hurricane hitting the U.S. and Texas in the same week? What are those odds now? Because that sure didn't happen 100 years ago. Does that increase the odds a little bit, having a hurricane and a total solar eclipse in the United States? Look at this. In Luke 21:25, where it talks about being signs in the sun, moon, and stars, it also says there will be the roaring of the sea and the waves in the same verse. So what are the odds, not only that you have those things, what are the odds there would be a Bible verse explaining the end of days? We would see signs in the sun in the same verse talking about the sea and the waves roaring. What do you think the odds are of that? Now, do you want to see something really astronomical? Luke 21:25 is one of my favorite verses, because Genesis 1:14, God says there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And Luke 21:25, Jesus confirms there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. So what are the odds of having both the total solar eclipse and a hurricane the same week? Well, what are the odds that it would happen on the 21st and the 25th? The solar eclipse happens on the 21st. The hurricane happens on the 25th. Now, coincidental? I mean, God is pointing us to this verse saying we are living in these times. Who else but God could do that?